Hi everyone, this is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. This is my unboxing and first impressions on my fully set up OnePlus 6. Let's go check this out. So this is the OnePlus 6. Let's open the box. And there we have the phone itself. I said I have already set that up and I'll go through it in a bit more detail. You get this little box here, and I've already obviously opened the box. So what do you get in those things? Well, inside that red thing there, you get some leaflets, the pin ejector tool, and you get this cheap silicone case, which if we put that on, it's a bit loose, if I'll be honest. It's not the best fit. It will do for now. It might help if I actually put it the right way around. And I have actually activated the camera. There we go. So that is a bit better. That's actually quite nice, actually. Better than I actually thought. There we go. That's the free case. I'll show you some of the other cases in a second. The phone itself, you have your dual rear cameras, your main sensor, and the one that uses depth sensing for doing the portrait modes. You've got your fingerprint sensor, that works very well. This is the sort of matte black finish, midnight black. You've got on this side here, you've got your dual SIM. I don't know if you can see. You've also got the volume up and down buttons. I'm just trying to change the focus a bit, but it's very hard to see, but they're there. And here you've got the alert slider, which really every phone should have. It works really well. So you have ring, vibrate and silent, and you obviously got your power key. So double tap on this very quickly, and here we go. This thing just flies. I mean, it really does fly. And I've got most of the key apps in fact, I've got them all in. I was adding some games and themes, so I'm using custom themes. Some of the things that you can do, I'll show you a couple of tips and tricks, which is worth looking at. If you go into advanced, you can have OTG storage. You can actually activate that temporarily, and I use that to copy a lot of music across. It's got a gaming mode, and down the bottom here is OnePlus Switch, which I really recommend if you're copying text messages, phone logs, calls, that sort of stuff. It works really well, and you basically put the version of the OnePlus Switch on the other phone you're looking to actually copy across, and it does work particularly well. Now what you also have, if I go back up here, you've got so many options, it's crazy. But under gestures, you have a 3-finger, or you swipe down with 3 fingers to take screenshots. Double tap to wait, that isn't on by default, and you've got various drawing controls on the screen where you can customize, and it will do different things for you. So again, lots to play around with. On the status bar, you can change the battery style. The battery percentage is coming in a software update, and then you've got icon manager where you can decide what you want on the actual screen. In terms of everything else, it just works. It is super fast, and yeah, so far so good. So you look at the camera, just to quickly show you the camera, some of the options. So again, if you pull up here, you get some of the other options in the camera, and they all work sort of fairly well. So if you do slow motion, for example, you've got the option here of 1080p, 240 frames per second, or 720p at 480 frames per second. 1080p is always the better option in my book. Let's just tap that back. And then in Pro mode, you've got various options here. You can change the aspect ratio, but again, always shoot in the maximum, RAW on or off. And if you want to know the ISO range, it goes right down to 100 in manual, in Pro mode, and up to 3200. It does go very high in auto, much higher than ISO 3200, and the shutter speed goes up to 30 seconds, and on the other way goes to 1/8000. So you do have quite a bit of a range. Let's put that back to auto. And the auto settings in the middle of the whole shooting match. You've got time lapse, and that's at 1080p, or you can do 720p. Again, it's all very easy to move around on these things. If you look at video is 1080p or 1080p at 60 frames per second, or 4K, and 4K at 60 frames per second. So, and obviously it changes between electronic image stabilization and optical image stabilization. So at the 60 frames per second on 4K, the electronic image stabilization cuts out and uses optical instead, which is pretty good. You've got portrait mode. You've got pretty much everything you could possibly want in your fingertips. HDR on, off, or auto. And so let's take a look at the gallery. And in the gallery we can see some photo samples. So I took this last night. Quality looks pretty good. This was sort of dusk. And here's another shot. It's quite saturated, but not oversaturated, a little bit maybe. But there's a couple of samples. And yeah, it's looking good. In terms of this particular model, if we go back into here and we go to storage, you can see that I've got of the 242 gigabytes, I've only used 37.5. I've got 9 gig of apps, 8 gig of photos. I haven't put my videos on yet. I've got 12 gig of audio, and I've got tons and tons of space. And so 256 will certainly last you an awful long time, but it's super fast. Now I have got some other cases here just to quickly show you these. This was the red silicone case, which I quite like. It does have a nice soft lining in there, and you put that in like so, and there we go, that's the red one. And then you have the sand. I've got the this finish here. There's no soft lining on that, and that's what that looks like. It's quite grippy, which is why I quite like it. Quite slim profile as well. Anyway, whole camera audio section. I will be testing out the audio tuning system. You can see the face unlock work quite well through, even though I've got the camera sort of blocking it slightly. I will be testing out this audio tuning stuff with the headphone socket as well. And stay tuned for all the reviews and comparisons of the OnePlus 6. This is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. Keep well, guys. Catch you guys soon. Bye for now.